Hello and welcome to The Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design, where we search the universe for the most exotic and refreshing mint, so you don't have to. This is episode number 72, The Freedom to Play. I am the learning game as The Sweaty.
And I am Lucho the Farmer. Thanks for coming together. What?
What's that? Alright. Yes? No? Maybe?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's
Thanks
fine.
for joining us on this episode. Just our document got crazy. Couldn't read anything.
Alright.
This way. This one, we jump face forward in the mistakes of the free-to-play market.
Just like Lucho makes mistakes.
I was scrolling down and I think I by accident clicked the DPI setting on my mouse.
Oh my god. Yeah?
And then it just went crazy.
It went crazy. Oh my god. Don't click your DPS on your mouse.
It was by accident.
Alright, my friends. So, first, the disclaimer, as is usual. Discussion here is based on our opinions and our own in-game experience. Everything we say, mention here, or do is painted by we changing our DPS mouse settings. DPI, sorry. You see, you're human. We do mistakes all the time.
We do make mistakes all the time.
So there you go. So if you don't like what we say here or disagree with us, or you want to tell us something extra, if we missed some information or anything else, you can leave it down in the comments here in YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, otherwise you can send any information, complaints, questions, anything to our social medias, or any way, shape, or form that you want to communicate with us. We are fine with it. All right, my friend. In the docket, we have this episode. Are we just wrong about Shadowlands tanking, about WoW tanking, or we just like dumb about what we said last time? Destiny 2
Maybe.
New vendor and news from the next season. And finally, Honkai Impact 3rd. My new Gatcha obsession and my first options and opinions about the whole Gatcha game side market thingy.
Yes.
That's what we have on the docket. But now that we have you here, don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, leave us a like, leave us a comment, or do anything social that you platform let us, even if you are watching us on YouTube or in any other hearing mode, device, platform, etc., etc. Click all the buttons down below, to the left, to the right, wherever you have them, click them. This is the best way that you can give us support for the show. We don't ask for anything else beyond you listen to us having a good time here and click the things. Alright, my friend, without further ado, we're just wrong about Shadowlands tanking. Is everybody the worst?
Is it not the tank's problem?
Is it just like everybody else who don't know what they're doing and I kind of like read this and I'm like, there's something that he mentioned that are just ridiculous. But fucking, you see this kind of stuff and you're like, yeah, it's possible.
All the time. But it's I mean, I agree with this person,
yeah,
and I don't agree with this.
All right.
I have mixed feelings toward it. So basically, this is a Reddit post.
Yes.
And the person here is saying, it's basically not that tanking on itself is difficult in dungeons.
Yeah.
Is that the community itself, or like the large community, doesn't know how to
properly run them,
how to deal with the mechanic.
Yeah.
And dungeon mechanics mean knowing which mobs to interrupt, knowing which mobs to CC, knowing skips, knowing how to do skips.
Correct.
So he has a list of things. So for example, it says Druid is incapable of using invisibility potions in Sangway depth. Sure.
Resulting in him repeatedly falling, dying, pulling the dungeon before leaving. And then there's a comment below, it's like, but Druid has an actual stealth in cat form. And he says like, oh yeah, he tried to use that. He aggro him up, he attacked him, and then he tried to use again the stealth potion, and he was still attacking that.
That's not the problem. Is I don't know. Like if you have first in Ratnos videos where he explains his routes and the dungeon changes and all the stuff.
Yeah.
He basically offers two routes: one with a lot of skips, one with fewer skips.
Yeah, correct. Or fewer skips.
Basically, his idea is that his no skips route, it's kind of easier to just coordinate.
Correct.
Because it's a more straightforward way of pulling the dungeon.
Yeah. It's just like it assumes that you don't have like invisibility or anything else. Yeah.
It's not the most efficient way of pulling, but it's the easier one to avoid mistake.
Yeah.
Then his skip, the one that he offers with skips is kind of in the middle ground of it is a little bit more efficient, but you need more coordination and people with more experience to pull it off.
Yeah.
And he still said like this is still not like optimal. Like you can optimize his routes way more. Then you have more finicky skips, more careful pulls to get away with.
Yeah.
And I feel like if this person is pugging and he's expecting random druid to know how to pull out the skip that he wants to, that's a lot to ask from a random player.
Fair enough.
It's not only that this person doesn't know how to use invisibility potions, it's just that if it is a skip that you haven't done before, you haven't practiced at all,
you could mess it up.
Go wrong.
So before we continue, like what did we said last time about tanking in Shadowlands? To compare it with this time, it's like we said that it was hard, that you need a lot of tools and coordination, and you were the assumed leader of the
you're by
of the run. By
you're
default.
the factor leader.
Yeah. So that's the reason why we said like tanking was difficult, because you are assuming a leader like position.
Yeah.
And that's not for everybody, like, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that.
Right? And now this counter argument is saying like, yes, he's not denying that you have kind of like a default leader position, but that the other persons don't know how to behave about it.
I mean, he's saying like, people don't know the mechanics.
Yeah.
Meaning, like he's just complaining about many versions of that. So he's saying like that players pull mobs before.
That happens all the time. You like
in a park. Yeah, people are not careful if they're body pulling.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Again, and this comes to me in the fact that Shadowlands dungeons, some of them, depending on the route that you're trying to pull off, are very technical.
They're super technical. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
like if you want to pull a specific packs, you want basically people to stand in specific places.
Yeah.
So that they don't aggro other stuff. It's something that requires practice. And if you're going just to a bug environment, I don't know. That's I wouldn't expect people to be able to pull it off.
yeah. Unless you have actually, because I have bug as a DPS in this expansion for the majority of the thing. I have been like bugging as a tank, and I have all the gear and everything. It was like no. Anyways, So my point is, yes, if you haven't done these dungeons with like kind of a coordinated group that kind of like we do, we have like key knights in our guild, and we help newer players or people who are not used to the dungeon to learn how the thing flows and works and mechanics and technicalities and that sort of stuff. Like if you don't have that space, you're gonna make all these mistakes all the time, and I see it like even no matter what role you're playing. And
in those scenarios, every tank puts the engine in a different way,
That-
and
that's
every time
the-
moves through the engine at a different pace.
And every tank has different priorities of what they want to like take or not
Yeah.
take, or what you want to
Yeah.
interrupt and that sort of stuff.
And,
Yeah, you're right.
and different tanks tank in a different manner. Like
Yeah,
if you
correct.
have more mobile tanks, they will be kiting a lot,
Yeah,
jumping from place to place. You cannot just follow them because they could just be kiting stuff for their safety.
yeah, correct. And you should be like on your spot, just doing.
Yeah, it
the
just
DPS, yeah.
depends. It's different tanks will do it in a completely different way. Even just the same route.
Yeah.
Like the way that they handle the maps is different. So yeah, I don't know.
So what do you think? Is the community's fault? It's like, do we have a trainer?
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Is it the community fault that, for example, hunters, mages, and shamans are not using hero when they should? Maybe, but different
I don't know. I
tanks
just
using
like
different groups,
Yeah.
like using lots of different pools
Yeah. And I was
for different bosses.
like, oh yeah. When I play my mage as an ult, I sometimes forget that I have any hero ability.
No, but not only would you forget, like let's say, I don't know. It depends on the engine. Depends on the week.
Yeah.
Depends on the level of the key. You wanna lose some pools or some other pool.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's pointedly complaining that he's telling them when to, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, but like also, even if you're DPSing, you're in the middle of the boss and you're trying to deal with the mechanic, you're not always paying attention to chat.
Yeah.
Because you're trying not to get caught up in the boss mechanic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's an excuse, and you should know your spells. Yes, you should. But what do you prefer? The shaman dying because he was looking for the hero and he got caught up in a mechanic, or him surviving
Fair enough.
throughout the fight?
Yeah, it's all
Is
content.
it an excuse? It shouldn't be. But that's the consideration that you should have when you're pugging.
Yeah. There's some things like they're really funny. For example, when I ask if everyone knows the mechanic, and everybody says yes, only for to become instantly paranoid they don't. That's so common. It's like, oh my god, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but again, that again is finicky, because
Yeah.
what are the mechanics for an engine? Like, did you know the mechanics for the Osus? Yeah, sure. Probably most people do know the mechanics for the
By now,
Osus.
yes.
Do people know the mechanics for all the trash? I'm pretty sure not that much.
And because when you change difficulties, like if you're climbing in the keys, some mechanics become more important than others.
Mhm.
So that's the other factor, right?
Also, depending on the affixes you wanna,
That's the
for
other
example,
thing.
you wanna focus kill different mobs.
Yeah, depending on
Do you
the
wanna-
affixes of the week.
Like, should all DPSs know what the important interrupts are? Yes.
Yes, they should. But yeah.
But some of those are gonna fall through the cracks, and it falls for me as well. Like,
Yeah.
even if I'm tanking, like
Yeah.
I kind of have a general idea of what the important interrupts are.
Yes.
But from time to time, I just forget that this guy is
This
casting something that we should be interrupting.
Yeah, you're right. And the other one is like not just dodging stuff. Don't stand in avoid the big plus. Plus is so good. And like me as a DPS, like I don't know, me as a DPS, I see this as the gold standard. Like you as a DPS should prioritize dodging stuff about doing damage. But I draw like the fine line of like how much of a little bit of damage can I take while doing my DPS stuff. And sometimes you get it wrong, and then you get hit because you're trying to like polish that small line of like just enough time to dodge the mechanic and keep doing the DPS to maximize your output. And sometimes you get it wrong, or sometimes you thought you dodged it and you didn't. And it happens like to me, especially I play a Fury Warrior. They have a lot of mobility, and sometimes the mechanics just catch me in the middle of like me jumping out of it or running somewhere, or like I'm attacking and then I don't see a mechanic behind me and it hits me. Like it's not. I try to be me personally. I try to be as good as I can, right?
Yeah.
But it's gonna happen. Somebody is gonna get, because I don't know, they're stunned, they forgot to move at the right speed, they don't have their movement cooldown in that moment, or it's a little bit behind for the situation.
I have had runs with experienced people.
Yeah.
Whom with I have run plenty of keys.
Yes.
That is still body pull packs from time to time, or patrols that they're not aware they're coming.
Yeah.
And when I realize it's like we're in voice chat, and when I realize that they're gonna pull, it's too late. Like,
yeah,
because I'm also trying to pay attention to my mechanics and to staying alive.
Yes. So yeah, it's chaotic. Like running dungeons is super technical, but it's chaotic because we are all doing different things, trying to dodge different stuff, and you sometimes don't get it. Sometimes you fail. Like, it's inevitable.
It is just practice. Like, it's something that you can improve only by practice.
Correct.
But like being like not mindlessly running dungeons.
Yeah. But being like, aware of what is what.
Thinking about what's happening.
Yeah, and that's
during the pulls.
And don't get me wrong, that's exhausting in a game.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. That's
we run 2 to 3 keys with all these technicalities and paying attention to, and by the third key we're just no more. We're just exhausted.
It's very exhausting
of just thinking about the mechanics and that sort of stuff. Is it that? Then the other question is like, is it that good? Like, that makes the content engaging for sure. But is there a misconception that dungeons need that amount of practice for you to have a good experience on it? Is it the game asking too much of the player? Is the question there?
I mean, it depends on the type of player that you are. If you ask me, no, because that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. But for the casual audience, probably a lot. And that's why I get the feeling. Like, I get the feeling that for the casual audience who don't want to... We just want to go and like manly do a dungeon. Is they suffer all this list of things, and
and sadly it's gonna be very hard for you to find a pug group where all 5 people in the pug are super hardcore paying attention.
You sometimes find them. Like, I found them.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Clean. Yeah, when they're clean and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, but that's not the norm.
Yeah, that's true.
Like more often than not, your group is gonna have 1 or 2 people who just either don't care or don't know what they're doing.
Correct.
Or no one has told them, or they haven't taken the time to learn it, or they're just learning it.
They're just brute forcing it to the point, right? Or they've been carried or something like that. Yeah.
So in a pug environment, you cannot get away from just. Like what this person is saying, like all the players that pug keys should be perfect and know all the things and mechanics. That's kind of unrealistic. Like, sure, no big deal.
Yeah, but the thing is like, the thing is like, not all the players have the time or interest to sit down in a dungeon, learn the mechanics, the routes, hear to your tank, what they're doing, what they're not doing.
But they still want to feel challenged. Like, you want to run keys once a week.
Yeah.
And you want to feel the challenge.
Yeah.
And then you cannot tell them, no, you cannot do it.
Yeah, you're right.
You're not worthy of the Mythic Plus experience.
I think this is a result of like the entry point of seriously playing Mythic Dungeons in World of Warcraft, and it's a backlash of that didn't exist till Legion, right? World of Warcraft is one of those communities that remembers. That is an old community, so they struggle a lot with changes inside the game and new systems and that sort of stuff. And I feel like also, this is a result, because as we have discussed before in this podcast, Mythic Dungeons is a fairly new side of the game, right?
It is a fairly new.
Yeah, and it's just being polished to the state that it's now, where it's super technical, where it's super interesting, and it's serving more the side of competition. So you still feel the difficult curve more and more as you go through the keys. So yeah, I think this is a result of that. of like that. Yeah.
It may be, but I don't think you'll find like not even after years of having Mythic Plus, you'll find a solution for it. Like,
and it's a result because, as I understand, like the old dungeons were like kind of mini raids when the only thing that had actual mechanics was the boss that you encountered, the bosses that you encountered around. The mobs were wherever.
They were just different. They were designed under a different philosophy.
Yeah, correct. So this is just, I still feel like this is just like more backlash because the truly the Shadowlands dungeons were kind of designed about like a very high challenge type of content.
Yeah, and I don't think it's completely a backlash. I think just people are never gonna be perfectly informed about everything.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter how much time passes.
Yeah. Because
you won't get to a place where you will pocket a key and everyone will know what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah. So yeah, and I feel it. I feel it like between these dungeons and the past expansion dungeons, there is like certainly a more. They're more involved. They're more technical. They're more. You have to know more things when you're going to the experience compared to the. So it's just a natural evolution, right?
I agree that there is a natural evolution. I don't think it's ever gonna get to a good place.
Yeah, I think the result of this is like, I find that the Mythic dungeon experience is well crafted for what it is, right? It's you PvP against like a difficult puzzle, and you have all these technicalities because it's a puzzle, and you have to do all these things too. It's a big challenge, right? And it's funny because they the way that they separate it from the raid experience is that mobs of enemies inside the dungeons are more important in how to manage that than the bosses themselves, right? Compared with the raid experience.
That's one of the main differences.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I feel like the community just have to. They're gonna keep complaining, but at this point, I think the community just have to realize that is what Mythic Plus keys is gonna ask for you moving forward, right?
But even if that is the case, it's like these complaints will go nowhere. Like this is still gonna happen.
Yeah.
You won't get to a place where this doesn't happen.
Yeah, and if this is your problem, just like for the sake of your sanity, try to go get a group. Try to find a community. If you don't want to, if your guild is not doing it, there is communities for plugging of people who know what they're doing, and they're in the disposition of like, if you don't know stuff, they will explain it to you, blah blah blah. If you're really interested in Mythic Plus, there is a bunch of communities. It is now. I think now with all these changes is fundamentally a social experience. The Mythic Plus stuff.
It is designed as a social experience.
Yeah, more than before, because it's designed with the same philosophy as the raids in World of Warcraft are designed. That you have to know stuff, you have to coordinate all the stuff with all those perks. So if you are interested in seriously doing dungeons, Mythic Plus, find a community, find some friends, find anything, a group,
just find people
at least
in
once
the same
a
mindset.
week. Yeah.
That's all. You need to find a group of people, and it's not bugging. Like Mythic Plus as an activity is not designed for bug.
I know that bugging is convenient, but
it's not only it's just an option that is there.
Yeah, exactly. I know that bugging is convenient, but you cannot expect all this in that environment.
I mean, you can expect it. You're never going to get it. You're going to be very disappointed. This person is.
So, like, again, we keep seeing this every time we brought this subject up. It's like, you have to be aware what you're getting into. You have to be aware that you might drain your ki, that people will leave, that there's gonna be mistakes, that people don't know what they're doing, and hope for the best. And don't get angry if it doesn't go your way. I know that people get really angry because they're wasting their time, but that's a risk of the convenience. That's the price you pay, right?
If that's how you want to engage with the game, yeah,
that is the price you pay. So yeah, like I in my opinion, it's like, man, plugin is super convenient if you want to do like a 2-8 level key, but at this point in the expansion, a 9 level key.
It is super convenient up to a level where you feel comfortable that your contribution to the overall run can outweigh 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, exactly. And that can mean like many levels for like many people.
That means many different things for different people at many different levels.
Yeah. Like, for example, my opinion was like, a month ago, I wouldn't pog a 10.
Yeah,
because people were getting killed by like the greed, the buff. What is the name of the mechanic? The dude who appears. The red
prideful?
Dude. The prideful mechanic. There you go. Thank you. Because people didn't know how to manage the prideful thing, and like everything was chaos every time the buff happened and that sort of stuff. But now, to the point of the expansion, like people are well more geared where they can afford mistakes even with that mechanic. And that's kind of the thing. Like that's the level when you will take the plugin. It's like where does mistakes start being very important for the successful of the run, or doing it or not doing it. So
yeah, just
I insist. Like the plugin experience is convenient when things are easy, but beyond that, no. Like, and I see all these mistakes that he's in that just look like he's trying to book like 13s, 12, 15s, 17s, like very difficult, where everything matters and mistakes are costly. And it's like,
it can be done. You just need to not only get lucky with the group, but like just be patient. And it also seems that he's trying to pull difficult strategies that require practice.
Yeah, the skips with the stealth and that sort of stuff. Like I've never done that in a POC. Never.
No,
for me that sounds like crazy bananas, cuckoo, man.
It is, because you expect people to pull out like stuff that requires practice.
Yeah, that requires a lot of coordination.
Yeah. People that, even if it is not a ton of coordination, just a little bit of practice.
Yeah, and of course,
count that.
And of course, the oldest complaint in the book: healers so busy trying to do damage that they don't heal.
I mean,
it is true.
Yeah, it is a problem.
Yeah,
but also like at certain level, you expect your healer to deal damage.
Yeah,
and basically as a healer, I know they should be healing people, but also they're like if you're at the point where you're pushing what you can do, you need your healer to put out damage, and you trust that the other players know when to use their own defensives, when to use health potions,
correct.
when the tank should be using the mitigation. It's not like the healer should be healing all the time. Yeah, he should, but if you're pushing the point where you're at right now, it is. So sometimes you need a little bit of DPS.
Yeah, that is true. Because it does matter in the long run.
Yeah, like for the overall success of the run. They just, and I don't know, like are people not aware of their own defensives and cooldowns? Yes, people are not, and you cannot count that they are, because you're saying everyone should perfectly know their classes.
Yeah.
Yes, they should, but in a perfect world.
No. And this is reality, my friend.
Yeah, like you know your class very well. Good for you, man. But but that's not much people.
I think this is more of a testament of like how proficient you expect people to be on pugs.
Yeah, you cannot count with anything.
Yeah.
Like, not at all. You should have.
It's just rolling dice, man.
Yeah?
It's just rolling dice. Like, that's what you have to assume when you go into a pug. You don't know what you're gonna get. That is the reality. You don't know what
you're gonna get.
That is the reality, alright. So my conclusion is, tanking in a high level still is a big thing, in my opinion, in Shadowlands.
Yeah.
It requires you to do a little bit more legwork than the rest of your companions, for sure.
For the most part, yeah.
But I think all these gripes that the community is presenting is more of a zooming of what to expect of players in the Mythic Plus, and forgetting that is a deeply coordinated now in Shadowlands in 2021. It's a deeply coordinated activity that needs a lot of coordination, and it cannot be like lightly taken, and you cannot assume that everybody's proficient in it, right?
It can be lightly taken, but you just have to be ready to deal with the consequences.
That is true. Anything else before we move on, my friend?
No, it was very funny to see this read this complaint. That's all.
All right, so Destiny 2. New vendor. Cosmetics.
New old vendor.
Moving stuff. I haven't heard nothing but good things in this season. You know, that's funny. I've heard nothing but good things.
That the new strike is very fun.
That the strike is good.
But that's all I have heard.
I've heard from like I keep always an ear on the community. Of course, there is like, in fundamental terms of Destiny, nothing has changed, but we see like good movements from part of the develop of the season. Like the story, like the secret story in the ship was like a very good storytelling conduit. The story in the season has been well paced and interesting. Like you have like story beats week by week, when in past season we got a story beats like at the beginning, and then like a month after we have another piece of story bit, and then after that now they're giving like the community like weekly like a piece of story and moving the season theme ahead. The villain is apparently interesting compared to other Destiny villains. It's like not one-dimensional as the majority of Destiny villains are. The exotics is interesting. They finally ran down Stasis in PvP, so they're happy. They're still having problems with Trials of Osiris. But they're fixing it.
That's a bigger problem.
Yeah, that's a bigger problem. But what I've heard so far, like the season is not over. The season will be over like I think like 3-4 weeks, something like that. But I've heard only good things about this season, like good movements, nothing super revolutionary that is gonna blow your mind, but good decisions, good pace, good things all around. Like I haven't heard anything absolutely bad in this season, so that's good, right? That is good so far. The new content is good that they come up in the game, so everybody's happy about that. Even if the story in terms of lore of this season is not revolutionary, it is so far very good and very interesting. Like,
for those things too, they don't have to be revolutionary. Just the delivery has to be.
Yeah. So the delivery has been good in this season, right? Compared to last seasons, they say that it is much better. That they're getting better at seasonal delivering content, seasonally deliver proper narrative content, which is important for Destiny, because Destiny is fundamental, like a very narrative heavy and cinematic heavy kind of game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so
it is and it is not.
Yeah. And now we have the news of what is going to entail in next season, the Ada 1 role, right? So
and the new old vendor.
The new old vendor, yeah. I do like the one thing I'm gonna say is like I do like this character. Like I find it endearing and super interesting. And Black Armory is one of my favorites. Visually, design expansion. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, from a design perspective, we do agree that the Black Armory expansion weapons were some of the most appealing to us.
Yeah, correct.
Specifically, I didn't care much about her story. It was interesting, but it was like, yeah.
Fair enough.
You just sell me your stuff. That's all
yeah,
I care.
Lucho don't care. As usual.
I paid attention, and it was one of the best delivered stories in game.
There we go. Yeah, yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it didn't move me to tears or anything. So just sell me your stuff. Give me your bounties.
All right. So what do we have is they're moving a bunch, like, and I was like, interesting. So they're moving kind of things around. They're taking banshees. Of course, she's gonna have the awaited and very, very desirable transmog system.
That we're hoping fingers crossed is good. Because we still don't know how it's gonna work.
Yeah, we still don't know how it's gonna work. Supposedly,
no one knows.
Supposedly,
it's gonna come from the collections. You don't have to own anything.
Yeah.
But we don't no one has any idea.
We don't know what is the rate that you can get the currency to do the transmogs. How easy is that's gonna come? We know that with this update we're gonna get like permanent the color changes. They're not gonna be any more like consumables, but they're gonna be just a static, which my god, finally after like 6 years of everybody telling them to ditch that system.
we have heard many things, but like with Destiny at this point,
we never
you cannot believe until you
we
see
don't
it.
believe anything until we actually see it in game.
Yeah.
So supposedly that's gonna happen with this. We're gonna have the transmog systems on her. Supposedly, as we know, is gonna have a kind of currency that she's gonna give you weekly bounties for in that system, and then on top of that, she's gonna sell you the mod part of things. So they're gonna sell you mods from past seasons that you cannot acquire anymore in the game.
And that's fine.
Yeah, and daily, weekly rotation mods. So she's gonna take that from Banshee, which is Banshee 44, which is then the one that sells you mod now, right now in the game.
So what is he gonna sell now?
What do you mean? What he's gonna sell now?
Yeah.
Apparently, the Banshee system they're gonna amplify to sell weapons.
Straight up sell weapons.
Yeah, straight up
the
they're gonna
little
sell you weapons.
engrams that give you random shit.
No.
Okay.
Weapons. So they're gonna have what they are saying is like they're gonna have 3 weapons of rotation, weekly. I don't know where they come from the pool. I don't think they
probably haven't said that specifically.
All right, that's what they say. It comes from the 6. They'll be sending 6 randomly select weapons from the world loot pool.
That means nothing.
Two of each will come from kinetic energy and power slots.
Yeah,
and
that means nothing.
Random rolls with perks that will be in the beginning of the week. And the thing is, like, the world loot pool is, I don't remember what the cadence is when you get like new, like when you get like the seasons
all the stuff that is not new.
Yeah, when the season and the expansions and he's just gonna
probably
become
all
like
the stuff that is not recent.
Yeah, he's gonna become like a catch-up kind of thing for new players to get more guns.
More than a catch-up, it's just like a fill your collection kind of thing.
Yeah, correct.
Because now, it's not really catching up.
Yeah, now we move out from sunsetting, we're gonna have like, it's gonna be much better to like, oh, I don't have this weapon and these perks are cool. Oh, I have these weapons with wrong perks, but he's selling better perks. That kind of stuff. But it's not gonna be. Yeah, but the perks and the stuff are gonna be random, so you're just gonna be waiting for the stuff. Like if you're missing one weapon, you're gonna be waiting for it to get into a rotation. It's gonna be 6 weekly. I think that'll be okay, I guess.
that's still there are way more weapons.
I don't know.
Like the rotation could take you months to wait for the stuff that you want.
Not only that, but with decent perks. We're gonna see.
I'm not even thinking about that.
Yeah, we're gonna see how. But that's gonna be now Banshee's responsibility. He's just gonna straight up sell you weapons.
Sure.
So what do you think about that? Just straight up sell you weapons.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Everything else that Banshee used to do is now on Ada. So mods, and now Ada is gonna sell you the currency. The gold, the golf balls and the gold crystals. And
the stuff to upgrade the
armor and that sort of stuff. Yeah,
the armor
to make masterworks.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. And now she's now gonna sell you that too.
Sure.
So she's gonna be like the big vendor, and in Banshee's gonna be he's still gonna have the armor parts, the weapon parts system.
Okay.
Yeah, but now he's gonna straight offer you weapons, which is fine for your collection if you're collecting the weapons in Destiny, or if you're looking for.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna be useful to farm stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely, probably just more to fill a couple of empty spots in your collection.
Yeah, correct.
Something that you'll probably visit and weekly reset, see if it has something that you're missing.
And you will probably see post of like, go and buy this weapon from him now, good rolls, and blah blah blah. So that's okay. That's
fine.
Yeah, it's similar to the system of the guild vendors in the Division 2. When they have rotations of like pieces with good perks and weapons with good perks, and you just get the notification.
Fine. It's something. It's a vendor that you go and check out once a week, and for the most part, you ignore.
Yep, correct. Yeah. So Ada now is gonna be the big mama.
I mean, vendoring mods, it's kind of the same, probably. You're just gonna go once a week, see what she's selling. Say, I don't have this one.
You don't have this, yeah, exactly.
You will pick it up and you'll forget all that.
Yeah. And then the upgrade materials is the same. It's like if you need these upgrade
materials, like if you're playing the game for the most part, you'll get them.
Yeah.
There is like a middle point during the gearing up process that you run out of them, but
correct.
You catch up on materials pretty fast back again.
Yeah.
And the transmog stuff, we have no idea how it's gonna work. We have no idea.
That's the big thing. So if the transmog system is all right, so the question is this: if the transmog system is reasonable, and the next season is as good as this one in terms of pacing and content and stuff, will you go back play a season of Destiny 2?
I said that I will go back at least to check the transmog.
Yeah.
Do I care about the story? Not really.
Okay.
Has the pace of the game changed in a significant way? I don't think so.
Yeah, they're doing, supposedly in this season, they're doing the level up change when you don't have to, you're just only gonna have to level up like 10 levels, not the 50 that usually they put on.
That is inconsequential to me.
Fair enough.
That's not the like it doesn't matter. Just make it 10 levels, make it 100 levels, make it 0 levels. Doesn't matter, because that's not the important part. The important part is the power level farm.
All right. Yeah.
Or not. Like the leveling up process has never really mattered.
Correct. Yeah.
It's all the power level grind. Has that, if that has changed in a significant manner, maybe. If the power level grind, which is kind of the core of what the game is the same, then unless they have super interesting activities, I will bounce back again.
All right. Fair enough. So what you're telling me is like beyond the transmog system and these changes, what will you desire to get you back into the next season of Destiny?
I say interesting activities, but it's more having people to run the stuff with. Which was why we stopped playing Destiny. It was not because the game was super bad or super good. It was Destiny. It was fine. We stopped playing because we lost a couple of people that were playing with us.
Yeah, it's just sadness.
That's the real reason why we stopped playing. It's not because the game was significantly worse.
Yeah.
The game was the same power level grind, the same weekly grind for activities, the same task list of do these weeklies, do these dailies, get your rewards, and be done for the week. Which, to be honest, like, in principle, I don't have a problem with that.
Yep.
I like that. That's a pace that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But if we don't have people to run the stuff with, we'll run into that wall of, okay, this is like we want to run the master's level Nightfall or whatever the freaking name is.
Yeah.
Which means that it doesn't have matchmaking.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
So, and the matchmaking is not changing, for example, in Destiny. They're not doing anything to fix LFG.
That is true.
So, are they lowering the inconvenience that I have to go through with a group together to run those activities? No. If I'm just alone, like if I wake up Saturday morning and say, okay, I want to run this
next thing in Destiny,
high level Nightfall.
Yeah.
Which is just 3 people, so I just need 2 more people with me. Yeah. No, I have to go through the stupid website, copy the 20 position number to invite. It just if that inconvenience is still there,
yeah,
then I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna say I don't want to go through this, and I'm gonna log off.
Fair enough. So that's the fundamental thing.
Because my problem with the game has never been like my fundamental problem with the game is the bounty thing forcing me to play stuff that I don't want.
Yeah.
And all the hurdles that you have to jump if you don't have a group to
do the activity that you want. Yeah.
That those two have been my main problems with the game. Do I like the shooting the game? Yeah. I have even told you, and I have said this before, like the whole power level grind.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it because it tickles my brain of...
It tickles your pickle?
I have a task. No, like it tickles my fancy. I have a weekly task list.
Yeah.
Of things to complete, and then after each one of those I get upgrades, and I enjoy that a lot.
Correct. Yeah.
So that level of that progress of like power level grind, I do enjoy that. But after that, all that is left is running raids and running harder strikes, stuff like that. If I cannot find a way of finding people to run it with, I won't go to.
Yeah, and we just need a LFG looking for group inside the game kind of thing, where you just go to a vendor in the tower or whatever screen you want and whatever. Yeah. And you open it, or like in your menu as thing, and you open it and you see post of like running Nightmare XX blah blah blah, and you say apply.
Exactly.
And they say, oh yes, this player has cool gear or whatever whatever is the community, whatever thingy, or where you can post looking for players to run Nightmare, blah blah blah, or looking for players to run this difficulty, and you just make it easier for you to just sit down in Destiny and like, oh, I want to run Nightmare. I want to run this Nightmare. I don't know. I want to run these legendary Lost Sectors, for example, which is now the hot thing that people are doing because of the rewards are very good. I want to run this legendary Lost Sector. This has no matchmaking. All right. So I go to my menu and see Lost Sectors, and there's a listing of people looking for 2 players, so you can pause like, I'm looking for players running this legendary sector, and you just click join, and then you're in a party that we all gonna run legendary sectors. You're done. And if you're concerned, just put it in TeamSpeak, because Destiny 2 has actually in-game TeamSpeak.
Most games do.
Yeah. And you can use that if you need to coordinate stuff, or like text chat. Destiny has text chat.
It's not that you need to coordinate a lot. It's just like, we're going there because
we're all doing the same activity.
They're very linear. It's not that you have to.
In Destiny you don't have like, except for the race, you don't need to coordinate that much in Destiny. Yeah. So just put them together, let them go all with the same thing. Because there's positions where like, I want to run this content, I need a pre-made group, but my friend is busy and I don't know, it's 2 a.m. and I want to do it with randoms because I have this space of time. Please, Bungie, give us the LFG system inside the game.
If that doesn't change, that won't change my engagement.
Because what we will have to do is probably find a guild that is more active than the one that we are on, and
even though they're
and do the legwork to do the things like the way that it works is like in technical terms, if you're in a guild in your friends, you can just join them. Like you just click and join their fire team if they are in an open fire team, right? Or in a friends only fire team, right? Technically, it's easy, right? It's easy to, if you're in a guild and you ask in your guild chat, well, I would like to run this thing, and then one of the things like, I'm running that, and you just like click and join them, right? That is technically easy, but that doesn't happen all the time, right? Because there's guilds that are more active at certain hours. There are more people at certain hours on and off, right? So it's a solution, but it's a smaller pool of people doing smaller things, so you don't have that convenience all the time of like, so you want to sit down, I'm in the mood of doing this strike till my fingers bleed, but my guild probably will gonna run 1 or 2 of it, and then it's gonna change, but you want to keep playing what you like to play. You don't have the option to do it because you have to jump through all these insane hoops. Where grouping up in Destiny is fairly simple in terms of like what clicks do you have to do in the game to group up in the match system and that sort of stuff. So it's just like that is more like, and it's a quality of life, technically speaking, it's a quality of life system because they have all these other like parallel systems and the grouping Discord and all that sort of stuff, right? And we just in the so we will check the transmog system.
I will.
But we probably
I said it before. That's something that is interesting to see how they implement in game.
But we probably won't go back till that problem is fixed. And it's funny because no one has talked about this in the Destiny community.
I don't know why.
I was wondering why. Why are we like the only ones saying like, you want to live just inside the game to make it convenient? Are we missing something? Is there a system already inside the game?
Inside the game? No,
right? Is these content creators being so used to jump all through all these hoops that they don't see it?
I mean, content creators are a bad
Standard, yeah.
Standard, because they have communities that they can just
pull from. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. That's not like a random player.
But that's more of a random player problem. Is the normal Destiny player so used to this bad system that they don't see it? You don't see the problems of going to Discord and doing all these jumps to get a group?
Probably.
All right.
That I cannot tell you. I don't know what the approach. I don't know how the Destiny community approaches this. Also, there is a bigger like console community.
Yeah.
And each console has its own like community hub thing that you can use for that.
And maybe those consoles are like super easy to access. Those.
It's not that it's super easy to access. It's that problem is handled by
the console.
PlayStation is handled by the PlayStation Hub.
And maybe
in Xbox is handled by the Xbox like environment.
Yeah, and maybe that's more convenient than the hoops that you have to do it in PC or something like that. Maybe they have something.
Yeah, because it's basically about you outsource. Like in console, the problem is outsourced because they don't have to. It is taken care of by the environment hub. But
that makes a lot of sense.
But in PC, they have to do it. Like there is no like anything that. Because in console you can just like press a button and like then you can have the overlay of the hub of the PS hub and the Xbox thingy.
Yeah.
And then you do everything there. But there is not that for PC. Like you can argue, the Steam thingy, but that's not. Still, that is not like you're putting a group together to a Steam. That's not how Steam communities work.
No. That's correct. Yeah. Oh, that's why maybe. Yeah, because the community in consoles for Destiny 2 is way bigger than the PC community.
Not only bigger, but it's like the whole putting groups together is handled
by that
for them.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense.
Bungie doesn't have to deal with it. Like,
so do we lose hope? Is this a problem that's never gonna get fixed?
It's probably something that is not a priority for them. Sadly.
Sadness. Absolute sadness.
I don't expect them to address this problem anytime soon. It is the same. Like, look, it is a kind of the same problem that with the cheating on PC.
Yeah.
Is on console like they had a huge controversy with that because on console they don't have to deal with cheating.
Yeah.
Because all that is handled by PlayStation and
Xbox, yeah.
But on PC, if you really want to handle that, you have to you are on your own. There is no hand holding on the PC.
So it's just like Bungie once more being just lazy.
Lazy, lenient if you think about it.
Yeah.
Their main community is still on console.
Yeah, you're right.
I know that the Steam community, that the Steam audience is big for Destiny 2. I don't know how big the PC player base is compared to consoles.
Yeah.
Which I know is their main market.
Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. Anyway, so we'll check the system, right? We'll go and see if he's okay.
I will check it out.
Yeah,
I'll give you it. I'll check it out.
We'll check it out and see how it is. If he's one more step of hope in Destiny becoming a better game.
We can only hope.
All right, and finally. And finally, we come to this point where Lucho won. And take me to the dark side of the gaming.
Finally.
He's been trying to do it for 2 years now.
I've been trying so long.
He's relentless.
I always succeed at the end. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Oh my god. and he kind of hit it and it's like, this. So, let's talk about gacha games.
Let's talk about gacha games and why you finally fell.
Cave in. Yeah, I cave in, finally.
Into the gacha goodness.
Oh my god, and now I have big goals. I'm being like super attentive to what I'm doing. I'm like, it's bad.
It's good.
I fell over. So, tell me what is what you like about gacha games, Lucho?
I mean, what I like is the collecting part of gacha. That's what gets me. Personally, I like collecting stuff.
Yeah.
And gacha games are very upfront of these are the characters that you want to collect.
Yeah.
That's why I like them.
And why do you want me to get into the gacha game?
Because they're so good.
All right, so I've been playing now.
Because I know that you're a whip degenerate.
I am a degenerate whip. Yeah. he just had to hit that part of it in the correct way. So, all right, let's explain because all the people who are listening is like, what they're talking about. What is the point of this conversation? So the point of this conversation is that when Genshin Impact exploded,
yeah.
We play it, right? And I've tested a lot of gacha games because Lucho keep recommending me. I tested the Girls Frontline, which I found nice, interesting, but the gameplay wasn't much of my cup of tea, so I didn't find it. And I'm a lot more of a gameplay player than anything else. That's the only reason why I do end up feeling enjoyment of World of Warcraft, because I understand the gameplay, and the gameplay of World of Warcraft is good. It's very good
fair.
Compared with other games. So that was the reason that it hooked me on. And so that's the reason why I'm still playing Diablo 3, because the gameplay of Diablo 3 is fantastic, even after all these years, compared with other ARPGs.
Yep.
Yes, so I'm a gameplay first kind of guy in my games, right? I like games with good gameplays, good gameplay loops. It doesn't have to be the same genre, it doesn't have to be a FPS or anything else, but if the gameplay is solid, the game, I get hooked, right? So I play Genshin Impact.
You did play Genshin Impact.
Yeah, the gameplay of Genshin Impact is good. But then at some point I hit a wall of you just have this amount of resin, which is the daily thing that they use, the stamina bar that they use in Genshin Impact. And I was like, I have nothing else. I want to keep playing the game because the gameplay is interesting, but I have nothing to do beyond going and exploring the world to collect the things in the world. But actual activities, the dungeons, that sort of stuff, I cannot do any because my stamina has run out, right? And that's the reason why I stopped playing Genshin Impact. It's I want to play more, but the games don't let me, right? Of course, the obvious answer in this gacha is just pay for it. Right?
That's that's an offer that any free-to-play game is always gonna
which is a trapping, right?
It is, you can call it trapping, but any free-to-play game will. Well, it's they still make money. It's still about making money, so
so they still make money selling you game time, technically speaking, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I stopped playing Genshin Impact, and I was like, all right, the game is interesting, but I leave it because I couldn't do a satisfying session on the game, right? It's all well and dandy. I stopped playing Genshin Impact, I think, 2 months after launch. I stopped playing Genshin Impact. And I was like, yeah, the idea is interesting. The open world is innovative. The collecting stuff is nice. The gameplay was solid. And the way that they did the elementals and that sort of stuff. Like all the systems, I liked all the systems of the game in general, right? But they stopgap me in terms of how much do I want to play. And how much progression do I feel like I'm doing inside the game. So, yeah. So then, how long ago was this? Like a month and a half ago?
What?
The Honkai Impact thing.
I don't think it was that long ago.
It was like couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So Lucho tells me, I don't know why. What did you tell me about Honkai Impact 3?
We're talking about and I think you read this up in one of the podcasts about like a game that you could you could have like small play sessions.
Yes. So yeah, we were talking. Yeah, we were talking in between podcast and I was saying to like, we generally like do big play sessions with friends, or go and like raid, or go and do dungeons, or go and play like big play session of now that we're playing Monster Hunter Rise, we're back again. But I was telling like I need a game that just give me like 15-10 minutes play sessions while I wait for like somebody to appear to play the other game that we're gonna play, or while I wait to somebody to do an activity or something like that, like something in between that I can just stop whenever I want to go and do the thing that I actually waiting to do, right? That was the example that I gave him. And I told her, like, generally I do that with Diablo 3, because Diablo, like, at some point in the season, you just want to farm certain stuff in Diablo 3, and Diablo 3 kind of gives you that. Like, you just need, like, three minutes to run a Great Reef, and you are farming and making advance, right? And he tells me, like, maybe you will like Honkain Impact 3rd.
I mean, because I knew that it was like every mission or every little piece of content that you run is.
It's like that. It doesn't take
a couple of minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take you like 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes into like a piece of story, or like a small mission for resources or something like that. And I was like, all right, cool. All right, I will try it, Lucho. It's a MiHoYo. Another game from MiHoYo. It's been out for like 2 years, I think.
What?
Honkai Impact. How long has it been?
At least 4 years now. At least 4 years, the global server.
The global server. So it's been for a while. He told me like, oh yeah, this game might offer you something like that. And I was like, all right. Okay. I will give it a try.
I told you, it's a free-to-play, it's a gacha game.
Yeah. I will give it a try. And I went for the gameplay and the convenience, and stayed for the waifus.
As always.
I think that's the... And I know it's not gonna sound good what I'm gonna say next. It's like what I tell Lucho as soon as I started like playing it and see the content of the game and that sort of stuff. I'm like, they're just giving you good fan service, and sometimes you need good fan service.
I mean, more than just fan service, it's a very honest game to what audience it is aiming for.
Yeah, correct.
So it's definitely that anime lover kind of audience.
Yeah.
Target. It's very honest about it. So it's not
correct.
hiding.
It's not hiding anything. Like, in parts, Genshin Impact is kind of honest about it, but it's more hiding stuff because he wants to capture as much people as they can. Like, they want to be
it is trying to appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah, correct. So in that I didn't feel, but this And I'm a man of culture, as they say in the internet.
Degenerate.
So I really like that they were like upfront with what I wanted. The gameplay is very good. It is as involved as you want it to be, or not. Like that's the thing, right? You can just mash the buttons and kind of be successful in everything you do. But if you want to like think about it, you have like the QT system, the fast reflex triggers, the debuffs and up buff of your Valkyries, and that's just like the gameplay is deep enough to keep you engaged in the small play sessions that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gameplay has that flexibility of it can be just completely brain dead if you want to think about it. You can just smash buttons and have fun.
Yeah, correct.
But it has enough flexibility that you can mentally engage as much as you can, and like get a decent amount of complexity and enjoyment out of the game.
Yeah. Plus, it's a sci-fi settings, which I do like more than the fantasy settings of Genshin Impact.
It is.
Yeah. So I've been hooked. Finally.
So finally, I found.
And so he finally Gatcha to get me, and now I have long-term goals. I've been grinding. I've been loving everything. And on top of that, and we were discussing this like off stream, the game lets you play more without needing the dreaded stopgap or stamina.
Yeah, like the game also has the stamina system, which it's all present throughout the gacha.
Correct.
Phase.
Yeah.
But it somehow feels less punished.
Correct.
You still get like basically it gives you enough so you can, for example, complete all your dailies or weeklies and stuff.
Yeah, and do your progress and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
And it takes like 2 hours, and after those 2 hours, you run out of energy.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to play the game for longer than.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not a game like you want to sit more than 2 hours.
No, truly not. I do enjoy the game, but it's not about funny
enjoyment,
because
it's about the pace of the game.
Yeah, correct. It just gives me like that's the thing. Genshin Impact let me unsatisfied all the time in the sessions.
Because that open world gameplay is kind of signaling to you that like it's Genshin Impact is very heavy on the exploration side.
Yep.
So it encourages longer playing sessions.
Correct.
Just stay here, explore, go and do things and move around, and it has a lot of travel time, for example.
Correct.
Because you to, I found this thing while I was traveling, so you go and explore. So it encourages longer playing sessions.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the stamina system gates your progression.
Correct.
So the game wants you to keep engaged, but the game is just cutting short your progression.
Correct.
That's the problem. While Honkai, it's kind of a little bit more fun. Like, yeah, we have stamina, but the gameplay itself doesn't encourage you to just like stay there for hours. You just like. Correct. You have tasks, you complete all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to sit more than maybe 2 hours in front of that game.
Yeah, and I've seen like, well, I'm doing a lot of catching up and stuff like that because I'm a new player, so they give me a lot of things to do to just hook me up. So I've been having like longer sessions of like 3-4 hours while I was catching up. But now in these spaces, like more like that, like 2 hours that you open. And if you want to play a little bit more because you're a little bit more unsatisfied, they have these activities when you don't have to have stamina, but they're kind of like once and done.
They tend to have,
and they have and the new, I think is the new thing, like when you have like the infinite mode.
Yeah, it's that's also like a newer thing for Honkai. Not newer, but like it wasn't there at the beginning.
Yeah.
but it has events going around pretty much all the time.
Correct.
Most of the events have like a energy-free component.
Correct. Yeah.
Which means that if you really want, you can just stay there.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the stamina feels less punishing in this game.
Correct.
I'm still not the biggest fan.
Yeah.
I don't like the stamina system at all. That's why Honkai is not my favorite gacha.
Yeah.
Still, like I still just like the stamina kind of out of principle.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Yes. Because we're discussing that there is better ways to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there are way better. I think, for example, that Girls from Line, it's a way better system. It doesn't have stamina at all.
You just have finite resources, right?
You just have a collection of resources. It's similar to Azure Lane.
Yeah.
You just have a collection of resources and you use those resources basically to do everything in game. And the amount that you spend running missions, it's pretty much it doesn't really matter unless like you have to actively playing like 24/7 doing missions.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Constantly, so that you can feel deep in the resources.
Yeah.
But if you are doing that for extended period of time, that's gonna crush your soul.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
Some people do it.
Yeah. But it's not recommended, technically speaking. Yeah.
Not only not recommended, but again, as a mobile game, most mobile games, they're not designed for you to sit in front of those for hours to no end.
Yeah, that is true.
So I don't know, like even in Girls from Line, where you're like grinding to level up your character.
Yeah.
You need the resources to run the mission.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The game doesn't encourage you to do it for like more than an hour, maybe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And the game has some mechanics in it that allows you to like not AFK, but like just plan the missions and you just let it kind of autoplay.
Yes.
Autoplay.
Yeah.
So that allows you to do other stuff, and then you're not able to play like constantly.
Yeah.
So just kind of passively, you just get back up whatever you're using.
Yeah.
But the Honkai, even though it has the energy system, it's not the worst. It feels
fine. It feels fine.
Enough for the things that you'll do in one city.
Yeah. And then there is the waifus.
Then the characters.
Then there is the characters, which is the whole selling point of this entire gacha genre.
All gachas do spell based and
you play gachas because you like to collect the characters. And their stuff and make it good. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a weeb, but man, I love the dorm and the chibis and the designs of the things.
It's a good-looking game.
Yeah,
and the characters are very well designed.
Yes, correct.
They are very appealing.
Correct.
So that helps. It's also like a 3D game, which like full 3D models.
Correct. Fighting. Yeah.
Which is, it was rare when it came out, and it's still not the norm for mobile games.
That is true for the most for the majority.
That makes it also very, very appealing.
Correct.
That helps a lot. That's a huge selling point, and that's probably why Honkai is regarded as one of the big successes of of the gacha market.
Oh, it's super interesting. So I've been into that. I really, again, I'm a bigger fan of sci-fi settings, that fantasy settings. So I've been enjoying a little bit more the story, and because I do like the waifu, so that helps too.
The story is very like it's surprising.
Yeah.
How sometimes like me, for example, I've enjoyed more stories in mobile games than on some AAA games.
Wow. Okay. but with that in mind, like Lucho haven't played like any big story-driven games.
I have played them. They just never grabbed me.
Well, there you
which
go.
is different. Like, did I play The Witcher 3? Yes. Did it grab me? No. Not really.
All right, fair enough.
Did I play the one where you can marry all the people in space?
Mass Effect?
Mass Effect? Yeah, I did play them.
Oh.
Did they grab me? No. Do I remember the stories that they were telling me? No.
All right, fair enough. So the stories.
It's not that I don't play them.
Yeah,
I do. It's just that if all they have to offer is the story, that's not what's gonna grab me.
So the story in these gacha games, like I like the small CGIs and animations that they have, like pepper around, super cool.
And MiHoYo has put a lot of money into
my God,
into the CGIs and the trailers and
like very very anime. Well, it's not for everybody because it's very anime-like.
Oh, the aesthetic is not for everyone. That's for sure.
They're very fan servicey in a lot of things. So you find that
it is very niche in that.
Yeah, so you find that not that you don't like that much, so it's not for you.
Yeah, it's.
But it just scratch like this game particularly scratch a lot of features for me. Like it gives you progression in a lot of different systems. It gives you progression in the main things. You are collecting your waifus in a relatively reasonable manner. The gameplay through all the suits are different enough when you feel it, when you change from character to character.
For sure.
That I like a lot, like the different types of styles of combat and that sort of stuff. And like the different abilities, some are more combo heavy, some are more like energy heavy, etc. That has been nice because for each waifu that you get, for each character that you get, you'll get like a different like gameplay experience.
It's the gameplay is deep enough that offers enough variety to keep it fresh. It's not.
Yeah, correct.
It won't crush your soul.
Yeah, and you can I know that is an advantage of that this game has been longer, been out for longer than Genshin Impact, but it has a lot of different progression avenues. So it has the events progression avenues. You have like open wars progression avenue. You have the story progression avenues and the chronicles progression avenues. So I know that is an advantage of the length that the game has because it has a lot of content. But it works in their favor. Like I feel I can do a lot of things if I want in the game. If I don't want, I can do just the bare minimum for my satisfaction and I'll be good for it.
It definitely does. That's one of the things that I find really challenging of like catching up a gacha game early in release and knowing if it's gonna be successful or not. I find that very, very hard.
Yeah, you're right. Like I don't know. How do you feel? Like, will you jump straight in that same topic? Like, will you jump straight up into the Gears Frontline 2 as in launch?
I probably will, but that's not a decision based on gameplay. It's a decision based on my trust in the developer.
Yeah, I think that is the interesting thing.
But that's a different kind of. Like, would I recommend the game at launch? probably not to anyone.
Fair enough. Fair
Because-
enough. Yeah.
That's a different question.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that like while I was playing Honkain Impact. They're the same developer with Genshin Impact, and like they have a lot of more interesting system in this game that they could have used in Genshin Impact. I don't know if the way the developers think, because they could be different teams. We don't know. They could be done under different directions. What they offer, they don't offer, all with a different philosophy, and that's why they differ so much between the two releases.
It could be. It's very hard to tell.
Yeah.
That's the real problem.
Yeah, but I am really happy with the game.
I'm glad you're happy with the game.
And to the point that for the first time in a long time we agree on something in one of the games. It's like we like the same waifu, and we're like, yes.
And like the same characters, yeah.
And we're like, yes, it's great. But yeah, that's been my first impression with Honkai Impact. I'm definitely hooked with the game. You can see how I'm loving everything that they showed me so far. The open worlds are interesting, even if they're empty compared with Genshin Impact, which I understand because of the way they're designed. It is not that bad because you're really not that much time on them. You just go in, see the story, and then do the side missions, and then you're done. So you don't feel like, oh my god, this is terrible.
That's kind of the success that they still they know what the game is about.
Yeah.
They know like the pace of the game.
Yeah.
So even though they experiment with things in the game,
yeah,
they don't get outside kind of that core like gameplay loop.
Yeah.
They don't get too far away from it, so it feels somehow consistent and still very diverse at the same time.
Yeah. And I've been loving the roguelite that came with this event. I think I came in the right point. I feel like I've been loving in the roguelike. I've been testing the Valkyries and going through this roguelike path and taking decisions, and then doing the infinite mode with like these superpower OP versions of the Valkyries with the weird combos and that sort of stuff. Like everything that is interesting about a roguelike, this game is delivering. And it's funny because it is because of the combination of these small parts. It's like you have a easy to understand gameplay with parts that are not more complex, but they are deep, and then you put the roguelike system on top of that small PlayStation. So the puzzle of what buffs works and how are you like building up the power of the Valkyrie is more the thing that you do that actually executing.
Yes.
So it makes it super interesting to engage with that kind of system, and it doesn't require the stamina. You just have like a cap of energy for the buffs that you can get. But even so, they have like an infinite mode when you can just like do it for points with previous recorded builds. So yeah, I've been very happy that if I want to play a little bit more, I can go and do infinite mode or whatever.
Exactly.
But, yeah, but that's the thing.
It offers that flexibility. That's one of the successes, I guess, of the model that they have created.
Yeah, and so I deeply appreciate. I think that's the thing, like the big flexibility of what do I want with the game or not, and that I have the choice and the control of. Plus the farming system. That's the other thing before we finish. I like Genshin Impact has this thing where the way that they characters progress is that they have a constellation system, right? And the constellation system is kind of like their level, right? You can have Zero constellation, where they just have the first ability, that is what you get with you get the character, and then you have like all these constellations with power levels. And the only way to get that constellation is get a duplicate of your character, right?
Yeah.
And in Genshin Impact, the only way that you can do that is like you can buy them in a store. They're monthly rotated characters in a store when you can buy 2 or 3, but the grind is insanely long. So you can technically do it, but you can just only buy 1 per month, right? And there is no other way beyond that and the gacha, right?
Okay.
So it feels insanity if you try to like, I want to max this character. In Honkai Impact, you have the shard system or the pieces system, which are like a small puzzle system. And the game offers you a plethora of options how to farm those Valkyries that you like. Slowly, of course, because they still want to encourage you to spend, but it's still doable in a reasonable manner that a human can comprehend. And it doesn't look insanely impossible when you are like either depending on the gacha of a monthly rotation.
Yeah, it's still like to be fair, it's still very grindy.
Correct. Yeah.
But it offers a little bit more.
Yes, more options of what of how you can get that power.
Yeah, but it's like to be fair, it's still very, very grindy.
Yes. Yeah, with that, I want to close this topic. Like, I'm enjoying it. I like it. It's a better, well-constructed gacha game. That Genshin Impact, that I will say for sure. It could be the age, or it could be, I don't know, but
it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. I've been enjoying the gameplay too. So there you go. That's my first impression of Honkai Impact 3rd.
Very, very interesting.
So yeah. All right. And now we move to our audience questions and feedback. Remember, if you want to answer your questions here, you can contact us in any way, shape, or form that you deem possible, or whatever, to our social media accounts, to everything else, right? So the first question of this week is, what is the breaking point for aggressive monetizations like the move that Blizzard is doing? In regards of them doing the monthly changes.
The buying game time.
Correct. Where does the camelback breaks?
I don't know.
Right? That is the big question. Where does the camelback breaks?
I don't know, because again, it's for games like WoW, it's like they become social hub, so it's very hard for people sometimes to walk away from those.
I don't know. It's difficult to say where the community will go, but for sure there is a breaking point where
there is
where is too much in monetization. Where it's too much. I think as closer as you get to pay to win is where you get that breaking point.
Yes, for sure.
Right, and there's been discussion about like if World of Warcraft is actually pay to win. Because you can buy gear in World of Warcraft, you can buy carries in World of Warcraft. So the line of like where is more efficient to actually work in a job and then pay for your advancement in the game compared of is it better to like play the game in the same time?
Yeah.
Right? Where your dollars per hour in terms of progress in a game are better than your time expended in a game, that's where you have a problem.
A job is a job.
A job is a job. Right, and that's been the whole struggle in the kind of the monetization thing, finding the right point of like that you get compensated for spending time in the game versus if you get compensated for just paying for stuff in the game.
True, but I don't know.
You don't know?
It's like, if you have the money and you want to spend it, go nuts.
Fair enough. All right.
Why wouldn't you be able?
Fair enough. And our second question for this week is, what is the difference between gacha games and games with loot boxes?
Not many.
No.
I mean, gacha games have loot boxes.
Yes, technically speaking, the pulling of the gacha is a loot box. Technically speaking, right? You don't know what you're gonna get. So no difference. The only difference is like gacha games are actually upfront with it.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Like if you're a grown up,
yes,
like us, and you get into gacha game,
you know
kind of know what you're getting into.
You know what you're getting into. Yes, that is true. That is true. You know that it's gonna be grindy. You know that things are not gonna easily come by. You know that it's gonna take a lot of time to get whatever you want to get without paying. Right?
Yeah, and that's the problem with loot boxes is when they are like kind of hidden and sell to unaware people.
Yeah, correct.
Or players who are unaware of the implication, but
correct.
I don't know. That's kind of an advantage that gacha games have.
Yeah,
you're getting into gacha for the most part.
You know what you're getting into. Yeah. So, and this comes in the heels because I saw a news that UK is gonna start another battle against the loot boxes with another round of scientific research that is affecting in the same way as gamble is affecting like the players and the youths and that sort of stuff. So will that affect gacha games? Will they be forced to like label themselves as for adults? But I think that, and it's funny, but because I think that's kind of implied in gacha games.
It is implied, but it's not explicit.
Yes.
Could it be beneficial? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if most people that get into gachas are aware. But at least if you follow like the communities of gacha games, they're very upfront that there is a component of gambling.
Correct.
In the game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's it, my friend.
That's all for this week's episode. Once again, thanks for tuning in into Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. My name is Lucho, and you can find me on Twitter at LuzioPolanco.
And I am the London Gamer, and you can find me on Twitter at the London Gamer and on Twitch on twitch.tv/LondonGameTV, where I stream. Follow me on your social media accounts so you know where I'm going live. I've been streaming Diablo 3. I stream a little bit of Honkain Impact the third. If you want to see me on that, you want to see my waifus. And a variety of games. Probably at some point we'll stream Monster Hunter Iceborne. I probably will go back to showcase my raids in World of Warcraft. So all that good stuff, pass it by. You're gonna have a good time. I'm a talker, as you can see.
Yeah.
So there you go. So don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Do everything social. Click the notification bell. Click the like. If you are hearing us in any platform, do all the buttons that let you engage socially. The like, the stars, the follows, the everything. That's the best way that you can support our content. So thanks for coming to the Sweaty the Farmer and the Game Design. See you next time. Bye. And did you know, for millennia, bean has been used as a symbolism of hospitality. In ancient Greece, it was rubbed on tables to welcome visitors. The herd hat was used to clear the air in temples and homes. And in the Middle East, mint tea was and still is offered to guests upon their arrival. It's a very, very welcome, like the hug of herbs.
Nice. And there are over 600 types of mint plants, which include pineapple mint, apple mint, orange mint, water mint, and horse mint. However, when we talk about mint, we're referring to two specific types, peppermint and spearmint.
What? Horse mint?
Apparently.
How do you get horse mint?
Somehow.
Do you put mint in a horse?
Probably not. Probably not.
Water mint makes sense. It's like a base mint water plant, I guess, or something like that. And the other ones can be like mixes with the other plants, but horse mint.
It's probably just a plant that horses like to eat or something.
That makes a lot of sense of like putting mint into a horse and getting the thing. I don't know. I still have my doubts.